And because now he actually had a balaclava on to start with before he jumped on the top of the roof of the car.
This is the gentleman that really impresses me very early on. Looks like an office worker by himself for a little while there before the fireman arrived with the axe, just with a chair and making sure he's kept in position.
Yeah, as you can see, they sort of cut the vision a bit too short there, but you see he was trying to become a lion tamer. He was trying to turn him around so that the fire brigade members were able to then tackle him or do something as well. And but the guy was not going to stop. He just kept moving, and it was the bravest, not only of them trying to corral this guy, but also the fact that they were also yelling out to passers-by. And luckily there weren't too many passers-by, but they were yelling out to them saying, don't sort of stay away, run away. He's got a knife. He'll kill you. He'll kill you.
You've had a lot of emergency training. You've been part and parcel of fire brigades in your time as well.
Yes.
How important was it that these fire officers were alongside, certainly armed with at least something?
I think there was two sides of it. They had a uniform on. I think everyone responds to a uniform, and I think people were sort of looking at it thinking this can't be real. I mean, it's in the middle of the city, in the middle of the day, and they're just thinking, they're looking around thinking there's got to be a cameras here. Well, actually it was me, but there's got to be something else going on here, and that's why you can't see too many people. There was a lot of people behind us, and I think they were sort of waiting to see what was going to happen next, and it was only the people who saw the beginning of it, saw when it first started and saw the blood on him, and as I said, the fireys who were able to do that and just keep following him down. And I'm thinking, where's he going to go? What's he going to do? How's this going to stop?
And this is the most extraordinary of shots, where you are directly over the moment of arrest and he's staring straight down your lens.
Yeah, and I was trying to work out. I mean, he was compliant at that stage. He was sort of trying to say something, but the passers-by, they had a foot on each of his arms, his bloodied hands to keep them at bay, and one guy was on his feet, on his legs as well. And there was another guy, and I'm not sure exactly what his involvement, but he wasn't very happy with him at all, and he was yelling at him and saying the fact that he wanted to kill him, and it was the fireman in particular who was settling things down. And you can hear that, and a few other people saying, come on, wait for the police are here, the police are coming in, the police are coming in. And you could also hear the street locations. So many different phones I could hear, and I could sort of hear all the different street addresses being set time and time again.
Were you surprised there wasn't more anger? There was some. One guy swore over the top of him. One guy almost sank the boot in. But I was surprised when I initially saw your pictures that there wasn't more anger. There wasn't more of a flash when they had this guy where they wanted him.
I think once he was contained, I think things settled down. I mean, you look around, and I did occasionally have a sort of spin around to see what was going on, and you saw a crowd gathering, as they do for anything in a city. But I think once he was in a position that he was compliant, I think that everybody just was trying to work out why. I mean, after the initial adrenaline happens, I think for everybody's trying to work out how is this happening in our city, and what's he doing next, and me too.
And after you've captured the vision, after the arrest has been made, the job's not done, you're talking to witnesses, you're talking to eyewitnesses, people that can tell you what they saw. What about some of the comments? And the one that strikes me most is the bank worker, I believe, the guy that got the chair and brought him down initially. Very cool, very calm, even with a bit of humour, saying he might have to take the chair back to the cafe.
Maybe that's the Australian way of how we handle a bit of stress, but the way he did that, it was an amazing thing, and how it was a group of people who were not known to each other. I mean, the fireys, yes, but they all came together with a common goal, and they knew what the job was. And you could even hear things like saying, keep his hands, keep away from the blood. Like, I think there was a bit of a CSI probably kicking in there as well, but just how people work so quickly, and to bring him down so quickly. I mean, it didn't go that long at all. I'd love to know how long it was, but it ran less than minutes, and the whole event.
Well, I'm sure you'll tell me afterwards you were just doing your job, but you went above and beyond today, so thank you for that, and thank you for your expertise in cooling the crisis. Well done.
No worries, thank you.
Good on you, Paul. Our Chief Police reporter, Robert Ovadia, is in the newsroom for us. Rob, you have some new information now.
Yeah, correct, and it's a team effort when we cover these things. This has been provided to us by Chris Reason, our chief correspondent. It's good information too from those pictures provided by Paul Walker. A drug that was found next to this young man is called Antonex. We've just done a little bit of a digging. It's not too hard to find on the internet. It is a class of medicines which are usually used to treat anxiety and insomnia, also classed as tranquilizers. So they're sometimes used as an antidepressant medication, and contains an active ingredient from diazepam, which is a very, very well-known relaxant and stimulant. So once again, this picture seems to be emerging quite forcefully this afternoon, that this man, as we broke earlier on the bulletin, had absconded from a mental health facility a few days ago, actually had medication for somebody who was mentally ill in his hands at the time he was arrested. So we're not to know what was going through his mind when this happened, or why that is the case, but there is a compelling history of mental illness from this man, even to the point where he had medication in his hand. We don't know whether he had been self-medicating the past few days since he had absconded, but it seems that Myrtney, at the very least, had medication on him when all of this went down. Of course, none of that will matter to the young woman who was stabbed to death on Clarence Street on the 4th floor earlier, or one woman who's held her hand out to stop him, or a third woman as well. 3 people injured. This man's young life potentially in ruins. Everything beyond this point is absolutely terrible. And once again, we have another case in New South Wales where an apparently mentally ill person has gone on a rampage, something that may or may not have been prevented, and all of that evidence will be presented before a coroner.
Senior crime reporter Robert Ovadia, thank you. It has been an extraordinary afternoon in Sydney CBD. A knife-wielding man has stabbed at least 2 women. One of them is dead before rampaging through the streets. He was taken down by civilians who bravely chased him, armed with chairs and crates. The man, we know now, is believed to have escaped from a mental institution and is this afternoon in hospital under police guard, thanks to those actions of so many brave locals. We will bring you the very latest and our exclusive pictures from the crew who are first on the scene in 7 News tonight at 6 o'clock. I'm Mark Ferguson. I hope you can join us then.
Piece of shit! That people just stabbed you, dog! Ah! Stop!